I'm guaranteeing you right now. Think about the division.
You're saying they're rebuilding.
They are rebuilding, but also you got to think about the division they're in. The Seattle Seahawks, if anything, stayed the same. At best case scenario, they probably get one more win than they did last year. The Steelers of the South are the Cardinals. They're not going to go anywhere above 500. It's almost a guarantee that the 49ers are probably going to either sweep them or split with them. They're either going to sweep the Seahawks or split with the Seahawks. And then the Rams, they always split. And somehow it's always the Niners winning in L.A. So the chances of them sweeping the whole division are higher than them splitting with the division.
You sound like Rooney
point.
of the Steelers.
This is ridiculous what we're talking about right now because the 49ers are guaranteed 6 wins. How we doing, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the B Team. We got Mikey over there.
What's up, y'all? How we doing? Welcome back.
Got Muller over here.
There he is.
Big week for us. Big weekend for everybody in America. Do you think that people overseas care about the NCAA tournament as much as we do? Because there's a lot of foreign people in the tournament now.
No and yes. I think obviously we care the most.
Yeah.
States, obviously, we are so involved in March Madness. But I think people overseas either tune in. I mean, they might not have a favorite team. They'll probably just be a band. Listen, the people overseas, like, they love the star players. They love Kobe Bryant. They love LeBron James. They love Kevin Durant, Steph Curry. Like any superstar, you're going to see people wearing their jerseys overseas like no tomorrow. I saw it in Greece. A lot of Kobe jerseys, Bron jerseys. But they might not have a favorite college team to root for, but I think they will tune in. Again, you got to remember the time zone difference. So a lot of these games, they start at 11 and then they go until 7 o'clock where they play. Like they would definitely catch up, you know?
But yeah, I mean, they got what is it? They play half the games after 10 o'clock the other night. Mm-hmm. That's the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Dumbest thing ever. We got games ending at 1 in the morning. 1 in the morning. I mean, I guess that's good for overseas. Mm-hmm. But I was just thinking about it because, Jimmer Fredette went overseas to China, I believe, lit it up. BYU legend. Do you think China just has a BYU contingent over there?
They might.
Just waking up every day early in the morning and watching BYU. I mean, BYU had 2 big wins. They beat VCU in the first round, and then they had a thriller against Wisconsin in the second round.
Killed me, bro.
Yeah, so I love where this tournament's at. I was just wondering that. Mm-hmm. But I love where the tournament's at. If we look at our bracket that we made on the show.
Is it screwed?
Dude.
Dead.
Well, let's put it this way. Grand Canyon and Clemson being in our Final Four does not help.
Nope.
Clemson was not hot, Mike.
Nope.
Not hot at all.
Listen, I told you guys, you maybe should not have had me on for this because I was probably going to frig everything up.
But that's why we wanted it.
Really? So who did I pick? I had a couple winners. I know that. I know I picked Memphis. That was an L, underdog.
Well, here, if we go straight down, I mean, you got Creighton. No, wait, you were third, right?
Yeah, I didn't pick Creighton.
You were third. So you picked UC San Diego.
Yes, they lost.
You picked Iowa State. They
won.
And then what would it have been? Oh, we went over here. You picked Liberty.
Lost.
3
underdogs right away.
Wisconsin.
Won and then lost.
And then, all right, if we go to the next one, where did we go? I think we started at the No, we started at the top. Clemson, yeah. Lost.
Go Tigers.
And then Kentucky won. And then on the other side, Memphis lost.
All the underdogs beat the favorites that I picked. That's crazy.
It's actually insane that we just went through the first round and every single one was just an underdog. Well, I mean, Clemson wasn't an underdog. That's just a tough one. Clemson was so bad early on. I mean, they didn't make one basket. They had 12 points after 15 minutes of basketball.
And then I picked, who did Arkansas play first round?
Arkansas
Kansas?
Had Kansas.
I picked Kansas.
We had Arkansas in our bracket. Yeah, so if you look at Clemson's bracket, this area, we got everything wrong.
Yeah.
Everything.
Bad. I don't know how to approach it next year. Do I just hit every single favorite and call it a day? I don't know. I feel like I love to throw underdogs in there, but I just never hit them.
I'll give you a little blueprint here. Maybe just follow whatever I say.
Yeah.
Because look at that bracket.
Now, this is what you have right now.
Bracket.
So you had
I'm dominating right now.
Auburn,
I'm in first place in every league.
So you took UC San Diego?
UC San Diego.
Okay.
That was an L.
So A&M, you took Ole Miss, Iowa State, Michigan State, Florida, UConn, very nice, Maryland, Memphis, Texas Tech, Arkansas, and then St. John's.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah, I
You
think
you took the Johnnies. Damn.
I did.
I bet Arkansas. I
did.
put like 20 on them.
Yeah, I mean
They were media. They were the media
Arkansas
team,
is
bro.
just playing really well. I mean,
Yeah,
you got Coach Cal back there. You got what's his name from Camden, point guard.
I don't know, but
The
they look
kid
good.
the point guard on Arkansas from Camden, absolute baller. He'll be in the NBA someday. Maybe even next year. Kid's fantastic. If he gets a jump shot, it's over for the league. It's over.
Let's go on the right side here. So you had Duke, and then you had Mississippi State. Baylor won. Okay.
Yeah.
Oregon and Arizona. Okay, that's still alive.
Yep.
BYU, Wisconsin. You took BYU, and then St. Mary's and Bama. Close game, right? I believe.
St. Mary's and Bama.
Yeah.
Until the end.
Bama, very nice. Houston and Gonzaga, and very nice. I had the Zags. Clemson, obviously, you had Purdue. You had Kentucky, you had Xavier, and then UCLA won against Utah State, correct?
Yep.
And then Tennessee and Wofford.
Yeah.
I know you were
Yeah,
big
so
on Wofford.
I was. I didn't take them though. I'm not that dumb. No, but Duke's region, I got everything right except for the Mississippi State game. Baylor won. I didn't know. I should have done a little more research on Baylor. I just looked at it as an SEC team. Mississippi State's going to dominate. They did not. I did not.
Game, right?
I did not know that Baylor had like half of Duke's roster transferred to them.
Huh, interesting.
So that's actually a stretch. They only have one kid. But Jeremy Roach, who was dominant at Duke, he is at Baylor. He's going to be going to the draft most likely this year. I think it was his last year. But I did not know that. I probably would have taken them had I known that.
But your draft's still looking pretty good. I mean, the bracket's looking
Oh,
nice.
yeah. No, I'm in first place. This is why I didn't Venmo anyone for my bracket challenges.
I'm last
Because
in that league, by the way.
Are you?
Yeah.
That's tough. That's a tough one.
$10. Give it to the good cause, you know?
So for my bracket challenges, like I responded to Adam. I responded to Alec. Why would I Venmo you when I'm going to win? Right now, I'm putting my words into action. I'm in first in almost every league. I think I'm in second in one of them. And, it's one of those things where this is all I do. I know college basketball.
You do?
I could not give you a single pick for anything else in this world, but I could give you college basketball. That's what I'm good at. That's what I bring to the table.
I
and
said
I'm
that
showing
about
it off
NFL,
right now.
too. Look how last year was.
Yeah. Yeah. Dude, you're almost on probation.
Oh,
We
that
got a
was
few
fun.
more months until that comes around.
Yeah, I need a comeback. We're going to lock in.
That's what comebacks. That every time someone says I need a comeback,
Oh, I need a comeback.
all
dude.
I think about is the scene from Parks and Rec when what's his name? He goes Kim Kardashian. Didn't she get cum on her back in that scene?
Oh, hello.
You know what? Have you seen that?
I've watched like a couple episodes.
Yeah, no, it's
It is fun. though.
unreal scene. It got cut from the show, obviously.
I'm watching Full Swing right now, so
Full Swing, yeah.
locked in.
Yeah, I haven't started that yet.
Oh,
Gotta start that.
Excellent.
Gotta start that. But one more thing on the NCAA basketball tournaments. Juju tore her ACL last night.
I heard.
T's and P's to Juju. USC, are they going to be in trouble? I mean, I would hate to say one player makes and breaks a team, but
Well, South Carolina's going to win it all anyway, so
yeah. So
they are fucking dominant.
let's talk about Mesa Modern Mexican.
Let's talk about it.
How about it? Mesa Modern Mexican over there in the heart of Easton, Pennsylvania, right off the circle. Great drinks, mimosas on Saturdays, margaritas on Sundays, everything you want throughout the rest of the week. But most importantly, when you go there and you're drinking, you know what you should be doing, Mike, besides drinking waters? Making sure you stay hydrated? I think
Eating
you got to
something.
eat.
Yeah.
I think you got to eat. So how about you go and get yourself a little bit of an entree? Fellas, let's take the ladies out to eat. Or even better, in today's society, how about the women take the men out to eat? Ladies, take your man out for a nice
love
dinner at
that.
Mason Modern Mexican and get 10% off your entree when you mention the B team sent you.
Absolutely.
We got like a 2% female listener population on this show.
There you go.
But hey, the 2% of you that listen to this show that are female, take the 98% out to eat.
Alexa,
Let's go get them a good. What can we get them? What can we get them?
dude, you can get them a steak. You can get some seafood.
That's what I was going to say. I didn't want to speak
We got fish on the menu, bro. The menu is beautiful right now.
Mm-hmm.
Y'all got to come in. It is getting nice out.
Yep.
You could sit outside. It is first come, first serve. Cinco de Mayo is getting close.
Facts.
So you got to get there. You got to be there for Cinco. We probably might be there for Cinco. I know I probably will. But go get some entrees. There's a lot of good stuff. The cooks back there are amazing. They know what they're doing. And
some say they're better than Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay needs to pull up.
He does.
He needs to pull up.
He does. So get over to Mesa Modern Mexican over in the heart of Easton, Pennsylvania. Get 10% off your entrees when you go there today and mention the B-Team podcast sent you. Great people, great vibes. Sit outside, eat an entree, get hammered. Let's do this, Mike.
Boom.
All right, here we go. Let's get into the NFC West preview this week. We got the Seahawks. We got the Rams. We got the 49ers, and we got the Steelers of the Southwest, the Arizona Cardinals.
There you go.
2024-25 season for this division was a rough one, I got to say. You know, you got two teams finishing 10-7 competing for the top of that division, while you got the Cardinals, you know, finishing sub-500. You got the 49ers in a down year, finishing 6-11. I mean, tons of injuries there, tons of injuries. A lot of old guys on that team, which we'll get into them later. But, Mike, I want to start with the Rams.
Okay.
I want to start with the Rams because I think that they're the most interesting team in this division. I know the Seahawks just signed Sam Darnold and had a bunch of movement in and out of the team. The 49ers, a lot of movement in and out of the team.
Mm-hmm.
But this Rams team, you know, I have a lot of questions for them. You know, like what is their quarterback situation going to look like after this offseason? Like, what is it going to look like going into the future? You know, are they set up to be the best team in this division for the next 5 years? There's a lot of things going in their favor while having a ton of massive questions. So I want to start with, you know, where do you see the Rams quarterback situation going into the future?
Well, I'll start off with this. I think out of all the teams in this division, you already mentioned the Niners and the Seahawks just completely, I wouldn't say rebuilding, but retooling their teams. This team is just adding. Like, they're not really losing people. They don't okay, they lost Cooper Kupp, but they are adding. And I think they are in such a good position where you look at teams like the Niners and the Seahawks and the Cardinals. There's a lot of fluctuation going on throughout the offense, the defense. You're still going to have McVay there. Like, you have familiarity with the team, and that's what's really good. For the quarterback, I think they're just going to ride out Stafford until they can't anymore. I truly think so. I think when they have a bad season, that is when they will draft. They don't need to go get anybody. They maybe can go get someone in free agency who is young, I don't know. Let me just throw out an example. A Zach Wilson. I know he's on Miami, but a guy like that, you know, had a rough start, like is young, can get back to, you know, being like a Baker, getting some work in. But they're going to ride out Stafford until he's done. I mean, Stafford's still cooking. He's getting a little older, so he's not really as mobile as before. But I don't know. I think they're fine. I really wouldn't have to worry about that right now because Stafford's still playing at a high level. But at some point they do. And I think next year, to answer your question, next year would be a time to go look for somebody, especially with the deal that they just worked out. Go get someone, learn behind Stafford, because you don't want to wait until now the contract's over and he's on another team and you're trying to just fill the void. Mm-hmm. So get someone in next year, I believe, learn behind Stafford.
Yeah, and I agree with you that they have to get someone in there.
Definitely.
It's just a matter of when and who they're going to get. You know, they brought porn star Jimmy G back in to back him up this year. You got Stetson Bennett sitting there at third. Matt Stafford's on a year-to-year basis, though. You know, like, do you really want to, you know, finish your season, whether it's in the Super Bowl or at the end of the year, and have to have those conversations year after year of, are you retiring? Or the other end of it, a new contract negotiation. Do you want to go through that every single year where you're trying to figure out what this guy wants to do?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's not as bad as an Aaron Rodgers situation.
Yes, absolutely.
It's completely opposite type of situation with Matt Stafford because he is playing at a high level and he's not a psychopath.
And that's
so. But
go ahead.
But I think to sit here and have Stetson Bennett as your third string and say that he's a shoo-in for that spot and to be the next quarterback of the Rams is a huge stretch. It's a huge stretch. I don't think that the Rams are going to sit there and not have a quarterback competition at that third string spot or for the future of their franchise. I think Stetson Bennett, what he's shown, has not been great, has not shown that he can be that guy. So
he hasn't even shown.
He played, what, 2 games?
Yeah.
2 games. And I think one of them was against Dallas. He smoked us in the preseason.
Okay, preseason.
But they have 1 pick in the first 2 rounds. It's pick 26, I believe. And then it's 4 picks in the first 5. So this team's really got to be smart about what they do. And if they're going to go for a quarterback this year, I think it's either got to be that first pick or they got to get one in the 3rd round. And they have to be sure about who they're getting. They can't be just taking Joe Schmo out of this draft.
Yeah,
because next year there's going to be a lot of quarterbacks.
And it's interesting what you brought up with the Aaron Rodgers dilemma. Like, the Rams are in a weird position where if you're going to keep doing these 1-year type of deals with Matthew Stafford, you're pretty much banking on how he performs that year. If he's going, I don't know, makes the playoffs again, almost makes an NFC championship, dude, his value is only going to increase. Even though he's getting older, like, we know what he's going to be worth. Like, quarterbacks are getting paid way more this year, and way more this time. The salary cap's going to continue to increase. Like, you have to play your cards right with him. And they're usually in this position where they're picking. Number one, they didn't have picks for a while back then, but now they're starting to recoup their picks back. They're at 26. They're going to be in the 18 to 26 range probably this year. Well, this year they're 26. Next year they'll be in that same range unless they shit the bed, which they're not going to do because Sean McVay is still a very, 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 very great coach out in LA. You have a young, exciting team. You have Stafford back there. Like, I just don't know when they will take a quarterback. Are you going to bank on its quarterback in round 3 where you see the upside, but can he fill Matthew Stafford's shoes after he's gone? Like, that is the problem. It's because I don't think they're going to be bad. I don't think they're going to be bad for a number of years. I think where their defense is young. They got a lot of good players and premium spots on defense. Their offense got better, in my opinion. They brought in Devontae Adams. They have Puka Nacua. They have some tight ends that I think they need to address. But I think where they're at right now, especially at 26, like, I don't think you can take a quarterback. Like, if maybe Jackson Dart somehow is still available at 26, yeah, you take him 100% because you gotta fill the void there. But they're in a position to win now. I mean, they literally almost beat the Eagles last year in the playoffs. They were the only team to give them at least a hassle. It was close. Dude, they score on that last drive. Game's over. It is absolutely over. They could have easily won that.
God, I wanted that.
It was so close. Bad. And you know what? I really give that whole team credit because playing in LA all the time in the Dome, like, you're not really dealing with that inclement weather like you did in Philadelphia. And they still made it a really good game. But I thought, listen, they brought in Devontae Adams. I thought that was a big move. I think he's happy in LA. I think he's going to be a great weapon for Matthew Stafford. I don't think it's going to be what we saw on the Jets where Rodgers is just targeting Devontae Adams, completely just leaving Garrett Wilson left to dry. Like, I think he will complement Puka really nicely. And Puka is his wide receiver 1, solidified. But having a guy like Devontae at 2 is great. But I think you got to address the tight end.
Jesus, that's going to sound incredible.
Sorry.
So many people in their car are just getting...
Dude, I'm all
you
messed
just
up
burped right into their speakers.
Hiccuped. Yes, but again, this is another team. I don't know why this year I've been emphasizing tight ends. Like, you just need one nowadays. And Higbee's a nice tight end to have, but if you can get a guy like a Loveland who could be a pass catcher, because I believe that they are a very balanced team, but they want Stafford to sling it. Like, they want him to throw because they can at least have an opportunity to get a sack on him. He can't really move. You got to get more weapons for him. They have a couple of guys like a Tutu Atwell. DeMarcus Robinson's gone now. Like, that can, make a play here and there. But they need a little bit more firepower on offense.
Sure.
But in the draft, again, you're at 26. You're not. I doubt you'll get a quarterback there. You most likely have to go BPA. Maybe get a linebacker like Jahad Campbell. I have them taking Jahad if he falls that far. You just got to keep loading up on defense. It's a really good time to load up on defense because, again, how long is Stafford going to stay on the team? Where are they going to go after Stafford? McVay's not going anywhere. Puka's not going anywhere. Kyron's not going anywhere. You got Blake Corum sitting behind him. Like, your offense is doing fine. Maybe get an O-lineman, but they're, in my opinion, the team in the division to beat. I think they win the division, and I think they're the favorites.
I agree with you. And one last thought here. I think Kyle McCord would be a great backup for Stafford this year if they could get him there at 26. But let's move on here because I want to touch on what you just said about them winning the division. I think they're not only set up to win the division next year in this division, but they're set up for the next 5 years. Mm-hmm. I think this is the best quarterback head coach duo in that division, maybe even the NFC. And, they just got Devontae Adams, like you said. They got rid of Cooper Kupp, who's had injury issues. He wasn't producing like he has been or expected to. I mean, he was outside the top 150 in separation over the last 2 seasons. So it's not like he's improving. He's actually getting worse over time.
It was a weird falling out for them, because as a fan and obviously just knowing Cooper Kupp for all these years, I truly think if he could stay healthy, he is still a top guy in this league. I think the way he plays, his obviously separation, like you said, is what, top something?
He was outside of the top 50.
Outside of the top 50, yeah. This was definitely, it was a bad year for him.
150.
Oof, ouch. It was a bad year for him, but I think especially where he's at now, I don't know if you want to get into them, but.
So I want to get into this right here because you got the top next 5 years. Is there any chance that the Rams shouldn't be making the playoffs, winning this division? Because you look at the Seahawks, and we're going to get into them next. Yes, we will get into them next. The Seahawks are a brand new team. I don't think they improved. I think the Cardinals are just the Steelers of the Southwest, like I said at the top of the show. They're going to be 500 every year. They have no juice. They have cool colors, cool uniforms, but nothing else going for them. They have a weirdo at head coach. They have a short king at quarterback. Then the 49ers just blew themselves up, and they're in a full-on rebuild with the franchise quarterback being Mr. Irrelevant. I truly believe that, this Rams team, especially the offense, should be winning the division in the next 5 years based on what the trajectory of these other teams is.
I think they are going to be the favorite for a couple of years because of their defense. Again, I know I harp on this defense a lot, but dude, you got a guy in Jared Verse who just won, I think, defensive rookie of the year. You got the other linebacker that is an absolute stud. They just signed Witherspoon as a cornerback. They're so young. Braden Fisk as well. Their trenches are really set up nicely, and I think you just keep adding on because then you could really. It just takes so much pressure off of Stafford where he doesn't have to really play hero ball. He could just play his game and the defense just go out. If they can limit teams to 21, 24 points a game, Stafford could at least get you more or at least the same amount of points as them. But I'm excited for this team. I really, really like their defense. I like where they're headed.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Let's get into the Seahawks now because, like I was going to say about the Rams versus these other teams, I don't think any of these other offenses have upgraded. They've either stayed the same or they've taken a step back. A lot of people are like, oh, is this Seahawks team better than last year's team? I'm struggling to see how that's even close to an argument. Sure, maybe Sam Darnold's an upgrade. He had one great season. Let's see if he can get a second season.
Watch your mouth.
But I'm worried that he's being set up just like the Jets set him up. You got MVS in there who, honestly, most people bet against. And then you have Cooper Kupp who can't stay healthy. He's getting older. MVS is getting older too. And you're replacing those two into the shoes of DK and Tyler Lockett. Let's stop acting like this is some big upgrade in the Seahawks wide receiver room. It's not. And not to mention, all right, cool, you got Sam Darnold and these two guys at wide receiver. Is the O-line going to be able to stop anyone from getting to Sam? I don't think so. You haven't addressed it. It's been a problem for 10 years. There's a reason why Russell Wilson had so many rushing yards because he had to run.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's one of their biggest needs for me is they got to address the interior. I thought Charles Cross played well. I thought he think he was at left tackle. I thought he looked really good. Yeah. It's just that interior O-line. But just to go off your point here, I know where you're coming from, saying that they really did not get better.
I said they got worse.
They got worse. Yeah. I'll definitely push back on that a little bit. I think what they needed to do was get off of this regime of the same players, and they were a little older too. Lockett really wasn't the same player that he was. DK Metcalf, a little disgruntled. You're not going to have to pay him a massive bag, which now you're giving to Sam, where he's going to have 3 years on the deal. It's going to be a work in progress from them, but I think down the line it's going to work out. I still think JSN as a wide receiver one is going to be just fine, but I think they're kind of retooling as well. I know they shelled out some money, but I don't know. They have it. They have players now. Again, I'm high on Cooper Kupp. If he could stay healthy, they gave him a pretty decent amount of money for the contract, but the defense is young. I don't know. Depending on what they do in the draft is important because they have pick number 18. Where do they go from there? Do they take a wide receiver? I think they need an over-the-top guy. They need a guy who can take the top off, and not MVS really is not doing it. He'll give you one game a year where he goes off and people are like, oh, let me put my claim in for MVS. Like, dude, don't waste your time.
No,
but
he's terrible.
I don't know what they're going to do. I think, but it's interesting. They have 2 first-round picks. So they have 18 and they have 29. I think one of those you have to get an interior offensive lineman. I think the guy from North Dakota State, Gray Zabel, would work so well in that offense. And my question is, what is their identity going to be? Because you have Kenneth Walker back there. They seem like a very balanced offense. When Kenneth Walker was cooking up, then they started running the ball. But you can't run the ball if the trenches aren't physical and can't block. You have to address it. It's so important, especially for a team like this. Again, Sam Darnold just went from having Justin Jefferson, a pretty good O-line, a very good head coach.
And Jordan Addison,
TJ Hawkinson, Jalen Naylor. Like, he just went from that to a completely different team that has... dude, way worse.
The Jets.
Way worse. Nope. Stop, Mike. Stop. But you're not going to have Noah Fant at tight end. Like, dude, listen, he had his run. He's done. You gotta just surround him with weapons. We had this conversation before. If you want Sam Darnold to succeed, you have to surround him with weapons. But it starts with the trenches. You got to build up that O-line to protect him. But I don't know where they go from here. I don't know. I don't know what to predict for them.
This is what I'm saying. Like, we've been saying for the better part of ever since the Vikings lost that playoff game, and this whole drama has been occurring, like, oh, where's Sam Darnold going to end up? If he left the Vikings, we've always said you have to surround him with weapons or else he won't be successful. The Seattle Seahawks, their whole surround him with weapons was going out and getting MVS and Cooper Kupp.
It's like the Baltimore Ravens.
This isn't a retirement home. Like, you just signed Sam Darnold to a big contract. You got JSN there, good. Kenneth Walker, good for half the games. You have no O-line, and you got him 2 retirement home wide receivers.
You think
it really doesn't make sense to me.
You think at 18 they take a receiver? I think that's a premium spot.
You got to take a receiver or a cornerback if I'm them.
Listen.
Because the cornerback room only has one guy that's actual NFL caliber starter.
Yes.
So they're going to get shredded on defense because I don't think their D-line's that good either. I think safety, they're okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think defensively, they're not great. I think they could be better. I think they're going to get better. I'm concerned that I said this probably 3 weeks ago. I think it was 3 weeks ago. I'll have to find the clip. But I think their head coach forgot that defense is also a thing in football because he's just been focusing so much on the offensive side of the ball that they're going to be in shootouts. It's going to be shootouts every week. They're going to be like the Bengals.
He is my coach to watch this year. I feel like last year, especially, again, we're talking about the Seattle Seahawks. We are on the East Coast, essentially. We are in Pennsylvania. Like, we don't know much about this guy. And this was his first year, and we saw some flashes. Like, we saw them dominate the Cardinals. We saw them lose badly to other teams. Like, I need to see more from this guy, this head coach. I think his name is Mike McDaniel or Mike McDonald, something like that.
Something like that.
I need to see more from him. I need to see an identity. I didn't see one last year. And that's what hurt them. They didn't really have an offense going. When Geno was throwing and he was targeting the guys and they were making plays, that's great. But I need to see more of that. I need to see physicality. I feel like on defense, Owosu, number 10 or number 9, I think he's a phenomenal player. I think you got to build around him when it comes to the defensive line trenches.
Sure.
But it's all about the offense now. It's really, how can we put up as many points as we can with Sam Darnold? How can we look at this Vikings team, see how they used him, and implement that into our offense? So maybe we will see a pass-heavy offense. Maybe we will see Kenneth Walker going for swing passes and maybe trying to catch the ball and go from there. But I don't know. They're intriguing because you never know what you're going to get with this team. But I like that they got younger. I really do. I know they signed Cooper Kupp and they brought in MVS, but they moved off Geno. They have JSN there. Like, they are building a younger foundation for the future, and I like the way they're attacking it, but they're still trying to win now. It's like with the Cooper Kupp signing and everything. Maybe he does have a good year. I think a lot is going to depend on Cooper Kupp. If he has a good year where he looks like the wide receiver 1 back in Los Angeles, they're gonna be a good team. But there's a lot of unknowns.
I know I shit on Cooper Kupp there for a little bit, but I think it's possible for Cooper Kupp to be successful if
Me
they
too.
treat him like Adam Thielen. You can't have this guy out there running, 50 routes a game. He's got to do his 25 routes, get open, get the ball. He's old. The man's old. So his rejuvenation period has to be longer than a JSN. JSN can just keep going. Cooper Kupp plays one play. He should not be back on the field for 3. Don't just every 4 plays he plays 1. And
he might have to now with the contract he got. That's what they're asking.
I know. I'm worried for this team because 500.
500, and that's fair. Like,
if they go 500, I think that's success this year.
I think, all right, so let me talk about the draft picks they have. So they have 18. If we're looking at what's going to be available around that time, you got guys like Luther Burden that are going to be available. You got guys like Matthew Boyd and Mika Egbuka. Like, those guys, you already have that position filled. But again, those positions that you have right there in this present moment are old. Cooper Kupp is getting old. You got it for 3 years. You got MVS. Like, you really could, if you can plan out your scheme correctly and get one of these guys at 18, a young guy who's fast. Like, I think if Matthew Boyd goes in the first round, this is the team I think he goes to, because you need someone, again, you need a vertical deep threat. Maybe they trade for someone. Maybe they give Jalen Hyatt a shot if the Giants are if he just wants out. Maybe you make a trade for him, you give him a 4th round pick and just see what he's got and give him an opportunity.
Yeah.
But you have to address the O-line. You got to get someone in there. They have been in this O-line purgatory for a long time. Once Pete Carroll left with Russell Wilson, that whole system, the way they ran, the pulling guard, pass protection, it is just thrown completely out the window. Yep. So they have a lot of things to address, but I think they kind of go BPA. I don't see them reaching. I don't. I think whoever's going to be there, if Kelvin Banks is sitting there, if Booker from Ohio State is sitting there, I know he has injury history, but if guys like that are sitting right there, Will Campbell, where is he going to go? He was projected to go number 4 pick to the Patriots. That dude's completely fallen off. Mm-hmm. So they have to attack this draft class strong.
But yeah, and I think they have enough holes where it's going to be hard to miss that pick unless the guy is a complete dud when he enters the league. Mm-hmm. I think you have enough holes where you could justify most of your picks this draft.
Yeah.
So they're actually in a good position in terms of keeping their jobs there in Seattle because you really can't mess it up as long as the guy produces a little bit.
There you go. Real quick, guys, everyone who has followed this show and is subscribed, thank you very much. We are 4 subscribers away from 300 subscribers. We definitely could use the help. We got a lot of good content coming your way. Me and Muller have been working very hard to, put out this content, not listen to ESPN and all these other fools on TV. Listen to us. Listen to your Lehigh Valley guys who actually know what we're talking about. Give us 4 subscribers, man. Get us to 300.
300, you know what, Mike? Let's get to 500.
Get us to 500.
Let's get 204 people out here. Tell your friends, tell your buddies, tell your mom, your grandma ain't watching YouTube, but have her make a Gmail and get that YouTube link going.
Emails going.
Let's
get our numbers up.
I'm here for empty subscribers.
Me too.
Let's get empty subscribers.
We need more numbers. We want more people to tune in. We do this with passion. I do this with passion. Mar does this with passion. Football is obviously in the gray area now. The draft is here, and then after that, it's nothing. But we will fill the void. We got so much golf to post. Yeah. We have so many other giveaways to do. We got baseball coming up. We're going to touch on so many topics, but football is our main. We will never shy from this. So if you want your football news, go to YouTube, hit our links in Instagram, TikTok, Twitter, follow the B Team Podcast, subscribe, like, and comment. We want to talk to you guys, man. We want to hear your thoughts.
Steelers fans, check in. All right, back
especially
to the
you guys.
Going from one team finding an identity to another, the 49ers are searching for an identity right now. It's going to be a completely different look for them coming into next year. I believe they let go of
a lot of players.
18 or 19 guys.
They lost a lot of guys.
They're kind of transitioning from a team who took the New York Yankees route to a team that's taking,
the Miami Marlins route.
The Miami Marlins route. They're just going to be a young team, and they're going to hope and pray. Because, their motto for the last couple of years has been run it back. And fair play to them. Great team. Great team. They've always been in contention. They've been making playoffs. But I think last year really showed that at some point you just got to cut the cord. I think they went a year too long with a lot of guys. So good on them for realizing it and moving on of a ton of players. But this next year is going to be rough for them, I think. I think they have the potential because of the division they're in to have a decent year. I don't see them competing for a Super Bowl. I don't see them competing for an NFC championship, sorry. I just think because they have a league-leading $86.6 million in dead money, it's going to rise after June 1st. I think that they're kind of in a handcuffed position for this next coming year. Going to be very inexperienced. I would be looking at 26, 27.
Definitely.
For them to be making a huge comeback.
I give them credit for knowing like their place because, again, we talked about the last 4 or 5 years of this team. They have been in contention for the Super Bowl. They lost to Mahomes. Luckily, I mean, Mahomes just exists and the Chiefs exist. So maybe if they didn't win the Super Bowl or they didn't make it to the Super Bowl, they would have had a chance to actually win it. Yep. But they cut the cord, like you said, and I think that was the right thing to do because of the financial situation that they're in. They lost so many people. And I think their defense is going to look so different. Like, how are they going to fill all these positions of need? Again, you're probably going to have I think they have pick 11. Yes. Like, you have to go defense. Listen, Javon Kinlaw is not moving the needle like he used to anymore. Maybe in Salah's system he will, but you got to get a guy. You got to get a guy in the secondary. You got to pair someone up in the interior D-line, or you got to go O-line. Listen, if there's one thing that's nice about the Niners where they're at, they have a lot of good players in very important positions. Running back, left tackle, defensive end, quarterback. Like, they're fine there. Like, those positions are fine. But they got to fill out these other positions, man. They lost Leonard Floyd, Malik Collins, Javon Hargrave. They lost his safety, Mufunga, to the Broncos. They lost Javarius Ward. Like, those are key pieces that made your defense elite for so many years. You got to go get some guys. So I think at 11, pretty much go BPA. I think Jahdae Barron from Texas as a cornerback or Will Johnson, you get a guy like that to at least just immediately fill that one, either cornerback 1 or cornerback 2 role. Yeah. You're looking good. You got to just start filling this team with young guys. But my question is, what are they going to do with Brock? I don't know what they do. What do you think? Because I don't know.
I had a question for you for Brock. I want to go through the NFC's quarterbacks. Okay. And where do you put Brock right now?
Sure.
Because is he better than Darnold? Is he better than Matt Stafford at this moment? No. Is he better than
Kyler Murray?
I don't know. Tough. Like, if you put Kyler Murray in those teams that went to the Super Bowl, is it better or worse?
And that's what's hard to put like a pin on him, is because now all these guys are gone. Yeah. I mean, you're going to have a lot of returning guys. Debo's gone, though.
Is he better or worse than what's in New Orleans? Oh, is he better or worse than what's in Jacksonville?
Yeah.
Is he better or worse than what's in Carolina?
How they should attack this, in my opinion, is you can't give him a big contract. You can't. You have to give him – listen, we're talking about Mr. Irrelevant, the last pick of the draft. You got to give him a team-friendly deal. I don't think he has a choice. I don't think he has a choice.
But, Mike, he took you to a Super Bowl. I think he has the cards right now because he can always say, I've taken you to a Super Bowl. I put you in positions to win Super Bowls. And has he done it? No. But he could argue he was Mr. Irrelevant. It was his rookie year. I don't know what they do with him. I think you got to keep him. You have a good situation. You got Mac Jones behind him.
The most I'm paying him right now, because he's entering his contract year, I believe. This is his last year of his deal. The most you're paying him is probably $20 million a year. Because what are we going to see this year from this team?
What's Darnold getting?
30. He's getting like 33, 34.
So Darnold's getting 33 based off of one season that he showed he can play football. Mm-hmm. Brock Purdy has now been in the league for 3 years? 3 years. He went to a Super Bowl. He won the division twice. Last year, had a shit ton of injuries and still managed to get you 6 wins. You're still outside of the top 10 in the draft. Would you argue that's better than what Sam Darnold's done? Because if that's true, then this guy should be getting the same amount as Sam Darnold, if not more. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong, But I'm just saying where Brock Purdy's coming from. I think he deserves that based on what he has done on paper.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't produced a trophy. He hasn't produced a Super Bowl. But I think when the team is healthy, he's capable of it. He's capable of it. But he needs to have all the weapons. He's very similar to Sam Darnold in that way. Like, he needs the weapons. He needs the weapons, which is why I think they need to draft a wide receiver this year. They need to either draft one or they have to go get one.
That's my thing with Brock. Because we've had this conversation numerous times talking about Brock, the system that he's in. Like, if you're talking about a system quarterback, you're talking about Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy is your epitome of a system quarterback. That's why I don't know if they're going to shell him out. If he's asking for a Sam Darnold type of deal, I don't know what they do. Their team is completely different now. They have so many positions of need on the other side of the ball where are you able to shell out that much money for a Brock Purdy? Like, I don't know what they do. I don't know. I don't know what they do. I have no clue.
So for me, you look at what these quarterbacks are making nowadays.
It's only going up.
I think that him asking for Sam Darnold money is actually, because of what we just said, I think that's more than fair, and I think that's more than team friendly. Because he could easily be asking for, you have guys like Dak Prescott, Joe Burrow. I'm just looking at the list right now. Josh Allen, Jordan Love, Tua. You got Trevor Lawrence, Jared Goff, Justin Herbert. Like, all of these guys are making 50 plus. Lamar Jackson, Kyler Murray's at 46, Deshaun Watson's at 46. These guys are all making that type of money, and they haven't done anything that Brock Purdy's done. Mm-hmm. I mean, hell, Dak Prescott hasn't even gone to an NFC Championship game, and he's making the most. So it really,
Jerry World.
That's where I'm coming from with Brock Purdy. Like, I think he deserves to get at least Sam Darnold money. I think he should be getting more. I think he should be in that $40 million range because he's gone and done stuff that a bunch of these guys have not done. The only people that can say that they deserve more than a Brock Purdy and everyone on this list, Jalen Hurts, Patrick Mahomes, Joe Burrow, and
Josh
Matt Stafford.
Obviously, got a new deal.
No, I don't think. But those four guys, what have they done? They've gone to Super Bowls. They've won Super Bowls. The rest of these guys, I mean, Joe Burrow didn't win, but he's the only guy to get there past Mahomes.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, you could ask for as much money as you want. You're MVP, sure. You've never gotten past Mahomes. Mm-hmm. These other guys, they've all gotten past Mahomes. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, no,
that's why I think Brock Purdy should be given that.
And that makes sense too. I think I know where you're coming from. Like, am I saying he's a bad quarterback? No, not at all. What he's done in the past has been spectacular for where he was drafted and what he's done for this organization. He's done a lot. I think he deserves some type of contract. What it's going to be is I don't know. I don't know what Lynch is going to do with this contract, what his first offer is going to be, because his agent, I think they're going to be very apart. But I look at Brock as the type of guy to take less money to at least have a starting job for 3-4 years. I think he is that type of guy. But again, this team is so different now. I know both of us want to look in the past and see what he's done, but this team has completely flipped.
Yeah, sure.
So are they going to just be like, you know what? Maybe it's time that we just have to go a different direction, or, hey, we want you back, but we don't want to give you $35 million a year. I don't know. That's from going to making $175,000 a year to then making, I don't know, 1,000% more. Like,
yeah, but
it's tough.
That's the position that they're in, though.
Yeah.
But all right, let's look at it this way: had they drafted him in the first 3 rounds, he would have been making way more money anyways.
Definitely.
Right? And let's say he does still take over that position, and he ends up going to and he does everything he was supposed to, but he was drafted in the first 3. None of us are having this reaction of like, oh, it's 1,000,000% more.
Definitely.
Because it wouldn't be that, but that's the scenario they're in. And he did do that. And I have to say one thing. He better be making more than $7 million a year because Mac Jones is making that. So, but I'm going to ask you a few questions here. Ready? Michael Penix Jr. Should Brock Purdy get more than him?
Oh, definitely.
Okay, well, he's on 22. All right, let's scroll up a little bit. Justin Fields, should he be getting more than him?
Definitely.
Okay, well, there we go. He's on 20.
20.
Baker Mayfield.
No.
No?
No.
What has Baker done?
Baker's Baker.
What has Baker done?
He's made the playoffs the last 3 out of 4 years. But I know.
But he's had 4 years, so let's cut it down.
True.
Yeah.
Again, real quick.
But that's the same stat as Brock Purdy.
That's fair. But
why, he's on 33.
Why I think this... Okay, that's fair. Let me just say something.
Derek Carr.
Oh, definitely more.
37.
37.
Kirk Cousins.
You're proving me wrong.
45.
I will say. But the thing is, for me, is... Again, I'm not saying he's not deserving of a contract. It's just... What is his contract going to look like? How are they going to attack his deal? Like, I think they will pay him. They're going to pay him, but I'm not expecting fucking Jalen Hurts money, Mahomes money. I just don't think that's going to happen. I don't. I just think what he has done with the team that he had and where they're at now, I just don't know if they are going to be willing to spend so much money with where they're at.
And I'm fine with that. And I'm not saying he should get the $50 million
Definitely.
deal. I'm just saying to say that $20 million is such a slap in the face to a guy who's done what he's done. Like, you should be looking at these contracts and saying, okay, if we go to Sam Darnold's deal, right? Okay, give him the 34, but then add a little tax onto it, right? There should be
some incentives.
You should be making it just under Matt Stafford money. Matt Stafford's on $40 million a year. It should be somewhere in that 38, 39 range because that puts him over Derek Carr, so you don't have to deal with that conversation. But it's still below these quarterbacks. Like Patrick Mahomes is on 45 a year. Matt Stafford's on 40 a year. Put them right below those guys. So I think $20 million is just an absolute slap in the face. They're gonna slap in the face if they give him that. It has to be more than Sam Darnold and some of these guys that have done jack shit in this league.
They're gonna wait this one out. They're gonna wait this out until the last possible minute. They're not gonna give him a contract this year. They're gonna let him play out his last deal with, again, a new team, pretty much. So this year for Brock is going to be the most interesting, the most important year of his career.
See, but that's fucked up because they've just basically started a rebuild. They got rid of everybody. They have so much dead cap. It's only going to go higher after June 1st, like I said. That is such a slap in the face to this guy.
And that's on them.
That's
on the Niners.
But that's why they should be paying this guy. They should give him the money. They should have a deal in place that says no matter what happens this year, you're still going to get this contract because we want you. Because to say, oh, we're going to see what you could do this year when we're not going to give you anything, who knows what we're going to get in the draft? Who knows who we're going to be able to sign after the draft? That is the dumbest shit ever. If that occurs, Brock Purdy should move on. He should go to a different team and get his bag.
I don't think it's
I'll take him in Dallas.
But you know what's crazy? I don't think that it's wild in the Niners front office eyes. I don't. I see where you're coming from. Again, deserves a bag. But where they're at now, again, I keep beating a dead horse with their cap situation, with everything financially about them. They just gave Trent Williams the freaking keys to the Taj Mahal. He is livid. He is loaded. Sure. McCaffrey, guys on defense. They just gave Javon Kinlaw so much money for no reason. Like, I just don't know if the finance part of it's out of my fucking hands. I don't know how they're going to attack it. And again, that's why I think this year, I would be shocked if we see a contract right before the year starts where he's getting 4 years, $180 million. I really would be.
So let me do this now. Ready?
My brain is fried, dude.
Ready? So let's go with your strategy of waiting the year. Okay, you gave him no one to work with. You spend this money in ridiculous ways, and then he goes out there and he goes for a 13-14 win season with no one on offense because Brandon Ayuk's going to tear his ACL again.
Ricky Pearsall,
Jennings. Ricky Pearsall is obviously doesn't get
Kittle
shot.
Needs a contract.
George Kittle
That's
is
a guy who's
getting older.
Bag too.
Last year was his best year of his career. We all know what happens when they get paid. Jennings has one good game every 6 weeks. You know, if he goes out there and he wins 14 games, gets you into the playoffs, wins a playoff game, yeah, but now his price tag goes up tenfold.
And that's the risk that they're going to be taking.
That's why it's stupid.
But all right, ready? And now let's go on the other side. So again, they're bringing back McCaffrey. We know it could either be elite or Zamir White, Jawan Jennings, Brandon Ayuk, and Ricky Pearsall. So who is wide receiver one? Could we just put that out there? Is it Brandon Ayuk?
Absolutely.
Okay. His bag is ridiculous too.
Yes.
Massive.
Yes.
So say they go, I don't know, 8 and 9.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy throws for 22 touchdowns, 10 picks.
Yeah, but that's their best case scenario because they could just pay him whatever they want then.
So that's why they should wait.
Yeah, but he's not going to do that. I'm guaranteeing you right now. Think about the division.
You're saying they're rebuilding.
They are rebuilding, but also you got to think about the division they're in. The Seattle Seahawks, if anything, stayed the same. At best case scenario, they probably get one more win than they did last year. The Steelers of the South are the Cardinals. They're not going to go anywhere above 500. It's almost a guarantee that the 49ers are probably going to either sweep them or split with them. They're either going to sweep the Seahawks or split with the Seahawks. And then the Rams, they always split. And somehow it's always the Niners winning in LA. So the chances of them sweeping the whole division are higher than them splitting with the division.
You sound like
at this
Rooney
point.
of the Steelers.
This is ridiculous what we're talking about right now because the 49ers are guaranteed 6 wins. Guaranteed. All he's got to do is win 4 to 5 other games, which let's look at their schedule because it's going to be fucking easy because they won 6 games last year. Let me pull this up.
I didn't think we'd get this heat about Brock.
This is ridiculous, dude. This is fucking ridiculous.
Oh, if Gassy was here, he'd be pulling his hair out.
Gassy, I'm on your side right now because $20 million's absolutely abysmal. The disrespect. All right, so they got the
Eagles fans would agree.
Listen, they're going to win 4 to 6 games in the division.
Okay.
Let's just say that right now.
Sure, let's give them 5. Let's split the difference. Let's go 5.
At home, they're going to beat the Falcons. I'm telling you right now they're beating the Falcons. All right? So
6.
There's a 6 win. Carolina Panthers are the Jags and the Titans and the Bears.
Ooh.
Right there. So that's 4 games. I guarantee 2 more
2
wins.
of them. Okay.
So now we're at 8.
8.
All right, let's go on the road here a little bit. The Browns, no
9.
no direction on offense. And then let's go to they got the Texans, that's an L. The Colts,
L.
Saints, Giants, Bucks.
Win.
There's 2 wins in there.
Their schedule's easy as fuck.
That's what I'm saying, Mike.
Oh, my God.
They're guaranteed
man.
like 10 to 13
screwed.
wins. 10 to 13
They're
wins.
screwed.
Now you see where I'm coming from.
Now,
it's 10 to 13 wins. He's going to make the playoffs. He's probably going to end up winning a playoff game because when the 49ers get there, they never lose because you're going to get matched up with the fucking Cowboys. They're going to win in Jerry World.
Oh, dude.
Like,
they're getting set up for failure. That's
this
terrible.
is what I'm saying. Pay the guy the $36 million right now. Sorry, $37 million because he has to be better than
37.
Derek Carr.
He's got to.
It's like this is the easiest decision of all time. Just pay the guy the money. If you let him go win these games, he's going to not only have 3 or 4 years winning the division possibly. He's also going to win a playoff game in 3 of those 4 years. He's also maybe going to go to an NFC Championship game in 2 of those 4 years. And maybe he might even fucking make the Super Bowl in 2 out of 4 years.
Are they the Steelers?
No, that's the Cardinals. That's the Cardinals. The Cardinals of the Southwest. So
Interesting.
sorry, the Steelers of the Southwest. Steelers are the Cardinals of the Northeast. So it's brutal.
Oh,
Like,
God.
that's where I texted you last night. I was like, we have to have a Brock Purdy conversation because I'm not saying Brock Purdy is like the savior of the 49ers organization. He's still Mr. Relevant. I don't think he's good enough without weapons. But when you look at that schedule and you look at his resume, to sit here and say, like, with full, confidence that his price tag's not going to go up to $50 million after this season is a crazy thing to say. Because I think that him going to $50 million is more likely than him staying at a $35 million price tag.
I still think they wait it out, though. I mean, if you can
Sure.
have one more year of, I don't know, $175,000. Again, I'm throwing out a random number.
They don't care about money. They don't care about money. They're the New York Yankees of the NFL. Last season, they were, I think it was $150 million over.
The Saints clearly don't either.
Salary cap. But
They're back. They're back. Did you see that?
What?
The Saints are in positive cap space. Amazing.
Yeah, how many players do they have? 15? They're
Oh
going to
my
all be
God.
playing both sides of the ball.
Oh, it's going to be bad.
Derek Carr's going to have to play free safety next year. He's going to
Yeah,
break
he
his
might
leg.
have to play edge.
Oh, my God.
Last thing.
Yeah, go
last
ahead,
thing
go
here.
ahead, go ahead.
This is why I think that it's such an important year for Brock. And I know, again, everything that you said is true. I get you. I really do. Like, again, he deserves a bag. I'm beating a dead horse so much today. But it's an interesting year. However they finish and whatever his numbers are going to be, they're going to take that into account and they're going to go from there. They're not going to give him the bag this year. I would be shocked if they do. Like, imagine they make the playoffs and lose in the first round, and it's to the Cowboys. Like, are we going to give him the bag like Sam? Probably.
100%. No, it won't be like Sam. He's going to get an actual bag. Sam got like a, you go to JCPenney and you get that knockoff purse for like $35.
Beverly Hills Polo Club cologne.
Yeah, you get like a $35 polo.
And people love it.
No, Brock Purdy's going to get the $150 polo. He's going to get the real shit. This is crazy. The 49ers just don't care about money. They don't care about money. They're going to have $150 million in dead cap this year. They're going to be the competent version of the Saints.
They might,
year.
yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy.
It might come to that. Good stuff, though.
All right, let's move. I really have nothing to say about this team.
I just know what they need.
The Arizona Cardinals, the Steelers of the Southwest.
Dude, we need a counter on that. That was worse than Duval.
Do we take the Cardinals seriously at all this year? At all. Gannon is the weirdest guy on the planet.
I don't think he's a bad coach, though.
No,
I really don't, because I think he's overachieved on defense.
Dude.
I think it's Kyler Murray at the end of the day. I am strict on Kyler Murray. We have not seen anything from him. He is just out there collecting his bag and then playing COD during the week. I truly think he is the reason this team is being held back. I swear to God.
Sure. No, I agree with you. And
Thanks.
Can I read you the offense real quick?
Go ahead.
Okay.
I know.
Kyler Murray does numbers if you picture him in an Oklahoma uniform. James Conner, great story. Stud. Marvin Harrison Jr.
We'll be back.
Haven't seen him in a while. Putting out a missing persons report for him.
Yep.
Hopefully we find him. Michael Wilson.
Stanford guy.
That guy plays basketball, does not play football.
Yeah.
Probably should be working in New York. Greg Dortch, fun uncle.
GM should be fired.
Trey McBride,
Stud.
should be stud, but that name doesn't do numbers for me.
Oh, dude, he's
doesn't
beast.
do numbers for me. They don't got the names. Trey McBride, he doesn't catch touchdowns, Mike. He doesn't.
He's a beast.
I get he's a beast.
Because Kyler can't see.
But that's what it all comes back to Kyler.
It all comes back to Kyler. I don't care. Arizona fans, you could come at me all you want. That dude will never win you a Super Bowl. If he comes to the Jets, I will stop my fandom. I will. He's terrible. He's shit. He should have just played for the Athletics because now they're on the come up. So, bad move. Bad move.
Serious question. If we put Kyler Murray right here, does the camera see him behind the trophy?
No. No. And this trophy's going to leave. And if he's behind here without the trophy, it'd still be pretty close.
Oh, we're going to have to fill that.
Yeah. Sorry, I made the finals for their third straight year and lost.
I don't know what to put there. We're going to have to figure out something.
Yeah.
We're going to have to put something there.
I know. It looked good, man. It looked really good. Maybe that soccer ball.
Dude, we could put that there for the meantime. Should we get like a, those Titleist?
Like I love that you were thinking about golf because I was thinking the same. Yes.
The little bags.
We should.
Do we get one and like embroider a B team logo on it?
We should, yes.
And we could just keep stuff in there?
We should definitely get something golf related, maybe like just some type of.
This is how little we want to talk about the Cardinals, by the way. We're on the topic of getting a miniature caddy bag to put here in place of the trophy right now.
As a fan, like, I would be so like, how could you be positive about this team? Again, I still think they have decent players. I think Marv's going to have a bounce back year. He's going to be fine. He's a stud. He's not going to be your Kyle Pitts. I really hope not. Trey McBride, they got a good run game. They need an offensive tackle or a guard. They need to address the trenches. You got Paris Johnson out there playing by himself, essentially. Calvin Banks, Gray Zabel, go get one of those guys. Booker, you got to address the line. They got Josh Sweat, great signing. I thought that was huge. They have Zaven Collins there. Again, he has his days. He's good. But you need more guys on defense. You got Budda Baker back there, but you got to get receiver, dude. You got to get. And I like Michael Wilson, but as a wide receiver 3, I don't like him as a wide receiver 2. He's got potential, but you got to get a guy in there to help out Marv. You got to get a guy who could run the slot. That's going to be again a Luther Burden, a Mika Ugbuka, Isaiah Bond, Isaiah Bond. Yeah. Like, you need to help this team out.
So, serious question. How many more years can we say this defense has Budda Baker and that be a positive thing?
Exactly.
Because he's 29 years old.
He's still a stud.
He's still a stud.
But for how much longer?
But once you hit that 30 threshold, it does start to taper off.
Yes. They look at you differently.
Even quarterbacks, like you hear all these stories about, they got better in their 30s. That's like 7 guys. It's a handful of guys. When you look at the grand scheme of things and how many quarterbacks play into their 30s, and let the fall off is wide receivers, the fall off. Puka was just talking about it. When he gets to 30, he's out. Mm-hmm. these NFL players, when you play for, he was in the league in 2017. We're going on, so what is that, 8 years? We're going on almost year 9 or 10. The dude's taking a beating. He hits so hard. There's only so many years you can do that. How many more years are we going to say Budda Baker is seriously a positive on this defense? We're going to see a fall off eventually. This guy's not just going to keep getting better with age. He ain't wine. He's not Pirlo.
Don't talk about my boy like that.
Bro, he scored a banger.
Andrea Pirlo?
Yeah,
when?
2 days ago. So
he's still playing?
Dude, so he scored a free kick before Mbappe did. Mbappe still has yet to score a professional free kick. Pirlo scored one yesterday in a charity match for AC Milan. Oh, who are they playing? Oh, no. Banger, though. I'll find it after.
Beast.
Yeah.
The greatest midfielder of all time.
Don't stop. Steven Gerrard. Okay, continue.
When I think about the Cardinals, I think about when Budda Baker picked off Russ and DK just chased him down. I just think that is the Cardinals, like, in a nutshell. Like, they are so close to a win. Here comes DK just charging down on you and then tackling you.
When's the last time Russ played for
the Seahawks? That's the Cardinals. That is the Cardinals. They get a pick, and then that should be to the house. Here comes DK. Wait, there's their win. Bam, tap.
But this is what I mean. The Cardinals can't escape the Steelers. We're talking about the Steelers starting quarterback right now. Let's not act. This Cardinals team is nothing more than the Steelers of the South. The only difference is the Steelers somehow sneak into the playoffs every year. The Cardinals can't figure it out.
And it's so funny that I talk so much shit on them, like they didn't wax the Jets 38-6 last year.
No, but let's think about it. We talk shit on the Jets all the time.
True.
So if anything, the Cardinals can get a little bit of heat too. We talk shit on the Steelers.
A lot.
A lot. I mean, Steelers are catching strays right now the whole show.
They have been.
But it is what it is. So,
yeah,
do you have anything else to talk about?
Let me just, I guess, say one more.
All right, go ahead. I'm going to sit
team.
this one out.
Go ahead. But they have to just do something. They gotta. I think what the GM has been doing, besides some free agency moves, like they're in the same position every single year. Yep. They were number 4 pick this past year. I think they're at pick 16, I believe.
Yep.
So they're just not a threat, and I think again, you have to have the hard discussion about Kyler Murray. I really think you do. I mean, He's making so much money now. Like, is it time to move off of him? I really think it is. I just don't think the fit is working. It's really not working. There is nothing. When you played the Cardinals, you're not like L. Like, there is no immediate L. There is no threat besides Trey McBride, James Conner when he actually has a line to run through, and Marvin Harrison when he actually gets targeted for once. That's it. There is no threat here for this team. You're not going to win anything. You're not going to go far. Our Arizona fans, I don't know how. I've never met one in my life. I don't know how you could be so adamant and positive about this team when you're seeing the same thing every single year. So they just need to go BPA, get some defensive guys that could stay there for a while, nail your picks, get some guards in there, get some tackles, and call it a day. Like, look at this man.
Doesn't Kyler Murray kind of look like is it Key and Peele? Who's the shorter guy?
Peele.
He looks like
Jordan Peele.
He looks like him in every single show when he's being like the dumbass.
He just doesn't give a shit.
He looks so small in that picture.
I truly don't think Kyler gives a darn about football.
I think he does. It's just like,
I don't know. Maybe I'm just a hater.
But it's tough. It's tough when you can't see over the line.
Yeah. Like, if you just watch some of the games last year, I swear to God, I watched some games. He throws 10 yards maximum down the field. He doesn't, like, Marvin Harrison at this point was like, why do we even take this guy if he can't even launch a deep ball to Marvin Harrison? Like, you have to use that guy at all times. He's so good. He is a amazing, amazing player. Trey McBride got so much work is because Kyler, literally, he was the first person he could see. Like, I just don't think he's the answer. And I think if you cut the cord now, you're going to be so much better off in the future than where you are now. You're going to keep riding this Kyler Murray train, and where's it going to get you? If they make the playoffs, I will apologize to every single Cardinals fan that has ever exists to ever see this show. I will apologize to you guys. But nothing's a threat. Nothing is moving the needle.
They're going to have 11 losses next year.
They might be a top 5 pick. Seriously.
They're going to have 11 losses next year.
Yeah, that's it for me.
Guaranteed.
They piss me off.
Fair. All right, well, let's do over-unders. Set the lines.
All right, so let's start with the Cardinals here. I'll go 7.5.
Under.
Sorry,
I should have done the countdown. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Under.
Yes. Let's go Seahawks. Let's go. I'll do 7.5 as well.
All right. 3, 2, 1.
Over.
Under.
I'm going to take them at 8.
I'm taking them at 7.
7. Okay,
right.
Good pick. Let's do the Niners. We're going to do, let's go 8.5 here.
3, 2, 1. Over. Absolutely.
I'll give them the over.
I might spread them there at 10.5.
Let's do the LA Rams. I'll give them 9.5 here.
All right. I like that. 3, 2, 1. Over. I think they get at least 10.
Yeah. No, we're on the same path there.
Yeah. So basically what we just said is
Rams, Niners,
Seahawks
are competing
for the top. Seahawks, Cardinals. Yeah. Seahawks could be in trouble there because Cardinals, if they go 500 again, we always see what the Steelers do.
I think one last thing, just to wrap up this division.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the more interesting divisions to watch because there is so much uncertainty besides one team.
Yeah.
I feel like the recent divisions that we've been in, like let's say the AFC South,
Okay.
we know Houston's going to be there.
Mm-hmm.
We think the Jaguars are going to get better.
Yep.
The Titans are going to be bad, and the
Yep.
Colts are kind of in the mix between the Jaguars and Houston. So we have an understanding of who's going to win the division. But this one is the same in a way, but the other 3 teams, we don't know what they're going to look like. We don't know. Like for betting purposes, I will not take any of these teams beside the Seahawks on week 2. That is the only. I'll get to that point. I'll tell you why. But that is the only time I will bet on this division is because what are we going to see from the Cardinals every week? What are we going to see from the Niners every week? What are we going to see from the Seahawks every week? Even the Rams, they can have some bad games here and there, but I think they're going to be a solidified good team.
Sure.
Like there is so much uncertainty with all of these guys. I think the quarterbacks were Sam and Kyler are probably the ones like, what are we going to see? Even Brock, again, I still think Brock could have a decent year, could have a really good year, could have a bad year. Like, this is a really, really intriguing division just because of so many things, the additions, the draft. Once the draft happens, it's going to look a lot different because if these guys go get a good wide receiver, if they get a nice offensive guard or something, it's going to look different. So, really intriguing. I don't know how to really, I don't know. Put me in a blender today, you know. I was ready. I'm like, it's be easy. I got my things, but talking about the guys that are still there makes it so much harder because year after year, like especially these younger guys, like we don't really see the same type of play. Look at CJ last year. Good, not as good as his rookie year. Look at Bryce Young. Shit, his first year. Yeah. Looking elite in his second year. Like, we just don't know what we're going to get with these guys. Sam, Brock, Kyler. Like, Matt, we know what you're getting with, but what are we going to see? What is going to happen? How are they going to get better as a player?
I have a crazy feeling that what you said about the 49ers is going to happen, and we're going to be sitting here with that clip.
About what? What do you mean with
2026 around March. We're going to be sitting here with that clip where you said they're going to hold out, and I said they're going to get fucked, and we're going to be posting that, and we're going to be like, we told you. We told you this was going to happen.
So we kind of like
Brock Purdy's going to have 13 wins this year, and you're going to have to pay him $60 million a year.
We agreed and we disagreed, but we agreed again with the Niners. So
yeah,
it's a tough conversation to have. It is. So I don't want to get back into that, but it's another good division, another good episode.
Yep,
we go from there. So like, follow, subscribe. We got a lot of good stuff coming out, and draft coming in a month. Be ready. Subscribe, comment. Let us know what you think.
See ya.
See you guys later.